Hello and welcome to Philosophy Vibe, the channel where we discuss and debate different philosophical ideas. Today we're going to be looking into the idea of the weighted lottery and if this does in fact solve the problems associated with ACT Utilitarianism. Interesting. So then, let's have a quick recap of ACT Utilitarianism and some of the criticisms. Now, utilitarianism is the idea that the right or moral action is the one that generates the greatest good for the greatest number, meaning when you are faced with a moral choice, the right thing to do is the action that will benefit the most amount of people. So, an obvious example to give. Imagine we have a group of 5 people stranded on a deserted island, and miles away, we have one person stranded on another deserted island. Now, the rescue team are informed about both. They know nothing about these people, only that there's 5 people on one island and one person on another island that all need rescuing. However, there is a problem. The rescue helicopter only has enough fuel to reach one island, meaning whoever is on the other island will not be saved and will die. Now, the ACT Utilitarian principle will say you should rescue the 5 people over the one, as 5 lives is greater than 1 life, and the right action is that which generates the greatest good for the greatest number. So, if the rescue team goes by the utilitarian principle, they will immediately, without thought or hesitation, go to save the 5 people and leave the one to die. This, according to the utilitarian, is the moral choice. Yes, this makes sense. Okay, now a problem that can be raised against this utilitarian principle is that the life of the one person is instantly dismissed. The person on the other island is still a human being, but their life does not even get considered. Just because the other island has more people on it, it instantly rules the person out from being saved. To many people, this seems unfair. Surely there should be some consideration for the person on the island. Surely their life should have some value and be included in the moral decision-making process. Surely their life should have some moral weight. They effectively have no chance to live just because they are the minority. This is the main problem with the utilitarian principle. The minority side will always lose purely because they are the minority side. This is very unfair, and for our island rescue scenario, it does not seem right or moral to completely dismiss the life of the one person. I am sure if any of us was the person on that island, they would want some sort of chance to be rescued. I am sure if any of us was in the minority of any situation, we would want some moral consideration. Yes, I understand the criticism. However, how can the utilitarian factor in the life of the one person if we are going purely on the principle of utility? If the right action is the greatest good for the greatest number, and you are not in the greatest number, then your life cannot be considered past the numbers. It may seem unfair, but what other way is there? Enter the weighted lottery. Now, the weighted lottery can be considered as the solution to the utilitarian dilemma, as it manages to hold on to the principle of utility while simultaneously giving some consideration to the lesser number and making the moral decision-making process completely fair. How so? Okay, so you are aware of how a lottery works. When people each have an equal claim to something that cannot be shared, they will leave it down to a lottery. If it's 2 people, they may flip a coin and whoever calls it will win. If it's more than 2 people, they may draw straws or nominate a coloured ball to be picked out of a bag. Yes, I understand. Let's go back to the island rescue scenario, but this time we will use the weighted lottery. So the call comes in that there are 5 people on one island and 1 person on another island. The utilitarian rescue team immediately go to save the 5, but one of the rescuers highlights the problem in not giving the one person a chance to live and how unfair it is. Now, as there is 2 islands, it should perhaps be put down to a lottery. A coin flip is then recommended. But how is that fair? A coin flip is 50-50. You are giving a 50-50 chance in saving 1 person over 5. This doesn't seem fair. You are correct. So then, the other rescuer recommends a weighted lottery to make this the fairest and therefore the most moral choice. The lottery is conducted as follows. 6 balls are put into a bag. Each one represents a person that needs rescuing. However, 5 of these balls are coloured red, representing the island with 5 people, and one ball is coloured blue, representing the other island. One of the rescuers then puts his hand in the bag and pulls out a ball at random. If the rescuer pulls out a red ball, then the helicopter will save the 5 people. But if the rescuer pulls out the blue ball, then the helicopter goes to the island with 1 person. So all lives have been considered here. All lives have been factored into the moral decision-making process fairly, as each ball represents each life. The lone person on the island was not instantly dismissed. Their life has still been given consideration, and they still have a chance of being rescued. However, because there are more people on the other island, they have a greater chance of being rescued. So this still follows the utilitarian principle, as the greatest number are given the greatest chance to survive, namely a 5 in 6 chance of being rescued. But it still makes the decision-making process fair, and the lone person is given consideration. His life is given moral weight. It is not instantly dismissed. His life is still part of the decision-making process, and he is given a chance to survive, namely a 1 in 6 chance. So, using the weighted lottery, we still have a utilitarian decision-making principle that is completely fair to the minority.
Yes, this makes sense.
So the weighted lottery can be used for any decision-making process if we want to be utilitarians, but also be as fair as possible and give all people some consideration and moral weight, no matter how much of a minority they may be. We can use it for large-scale things like deciding who to rescue, or even for small-scale things like when a group is deciding what to eat. Imagine a group of 10 people deciding on what to eat. 7 people want burgers and 3 people want sushi. We put 10 balls in a bag, 7 red and 3 blue, and the weighted lottery will decide in a completely fair and even utilitarian way.
Very interesting, and yes, I can see how the weighted lottery can be considered as a very fair method in decision making, as it gives the majority more of a chance in success whilst not completely dismissing the minority as non-existent. In a way, each person is given an equal chance in winning, and each person is part of the decision making process, making it a very fair way to decide whilst keeping the utilitarian principle.
Exactly.
However, I want to discuss the problems with the weighted lottery.
Go ahead.
For convoluted scenarios where there are different people wanting different things, a weighted lottery is the fairest. Say, deciding on a movie where 10 people each want to see different movies, that's fine, as each person is represented equally. The problem comes when we are looking at moral dilemmas like you proposed, rescuing 5 people over 1. Sure, each person is represented equally, but we are not talking about saving the 1 person whose ball we choose. We are talking about saving either 5 people or 1 person. It's not like we would get the 5-person island and only allow the lottery winner to be rescued.
Okay, so what's your point?
My point is that the weighted lottery is allowing the opportunity for 1 person to be rescued over 5, which most people would say is not the moral choice, and all utilitarians would say is definitely not the moral choice. I think if you do not know anything about the people on the islands, everyone would say to say 5 over 1. That seems like the most obvious choice, but the weighted lottery is giving a chance that we could actually let 5 people die in favour of saving 1. This seems really wrong.
Yes, but it is a small possibility. We know based on the probability the 5 people have a much bigger chance of surviving, and we are still being fair to the 1.
Yes, it's a small possibility, but it is not impossible. A 1 in 6 chance is nowhere near impossible. The blue ball could very likely be chosen, and we would be saving the 1 person. This doesn't seem moral, nor does it seem utilitarian, and so I don't think the weighted lottery will work. Furthermore, Act Utilitarianism in particular has been criticised for potentially allowing heinous actions to take place in the name of the greatest good for the greatest number. The weighted lottery does not solve this problem at all.
What do you mean?
So, a common criticism of utilitarianism is the organ harvesting problem. Could we kill a random innocent person and use their organs to save the lives of 5 people? A true, hardcore act utilitarian would see this as permissible. We are saving 5 lives and taking 1. If then we say that the life of one person still needs to be considered via the weighted lottery, does this actually make it fair? If we give a random innocent person a 1 in 6 chance of surviving, they have been considered in the lottery, so this is apparently fair. I don't think so. Sometimes the minority consideration should be worth more than the utilitarian principle, and a weighted lottery does not make it any more fair.
Good point. If you enjoy conversations around ethics and you would like to help support the channel, then please check out the Philosophy Vibe Ethics ebook available on Amazon. This is a compilation of all our ethics scripts, definitely an interesting read, and thank you to everyone who has purchased our books so far, we really appreciate it. But that's all the time we have for now. Thank you for watching, we hope you enjoyed the vibe, and what does everyone else think? Who likes the weighted lottery, and do you think this solves the problems for utilitarianism? Let us know in the comments below, don't forget to like and share, and for more philosophical debates, please subscribe to the channel. Take care, until next time.